Alright, we're back again on the next day. Since yesterday, I started the Great Ace Attorney, my first Ace Attorney game. And, well, first played, not first seen. And I gotta say, pretty entertaining so far. We are 2/3, assumably, unless there's a part 4, which I doubt. There's no way there's a part 4. In the first trial, the Great Ace Attorney. I have no idea how many exact cases are in the game, or what DLCs they've added to add even more cases. I don't know. I'm going to assume there's at least 4. But so far, it looks like they combined the tutorial case with the first case. So it's actually been quite lengthy. They gave you the quick tutorial. In the second half of the first case, they then added the special gimmick, which the special gimmick in this one is that sometimes there will be more than one witness up at a time, and you have to cross-examine each individual witness who's up there, and we'll get different answers depending on who you're talking to while the testimony is given. So that's the small gimmick that they added for this one. If I remember correctly, some of the old gimmicks were like, you had the little necklace thing that made you like see visions of the past or something. I don't remember what the hell that was. I remember there was like some little pendant that was being used, I think in like the 30 game, that was giving like some extra thing. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so we're going to pick right back up. Did I have to? No, I was able to full screen it. Yeah. So we're going to pick up right back with some more Ace Attorney. I am going to finish, assumably, the first case and probably start a little bit into the next one, or at least get the story set up for the next one. You need to install video codec. What? What? Huh? I don't know what the hell the game just what that was, but okay. oh, now it's too big for the screen. All right, hold up. We'll get you. We'll get you. I guess last time, since it started in a window mode and then I made the window bigger, it captured the full screen but still in windowed form, so that's why it was so small and I had to stretch it. This time, since it started in full screen, it literally just snapped right to max size. Okay. So, I don't know if they are going to summarize it, but I'm going to pick back up where we were and see if a summary is given. If not, I will have to give the summary myself. Oh, the buttons are now in their proper position. Oh, okay, fine. Start playing for save data. So now my accept button is in the proper position on my controller. So whatever happened last time also did not accept whatever. It doesn't matter. We're good to go. Okay, so I assume it's going to give a recap of what happened, but I'll give my own recap beforehand. So we are a college student studying to become a lawyer, and we have a friend who's also studying to become a lawyer. Our friend has been doing so good that he is going to be whisked off to England, who has recently shown up in Japan and has been sharing their culture, including their legal system. And we are studying said legal system, and our friend is doing such a good job that he is going to be able to go to England and study their law directly from their own barristers. However, we are mixed up in a murder case where an English professor was murdered, and we were dumb enough to pick a gun up off the ground right as, assumably, he was shot and killed to death. So, unfortunately, we are the ones who were being pulled into this case and trying to be tried and convicted of murdering. However, because the person who was murdered was a British national, the Japanese government is very concerned with having the British getting mad that one of their people was killed, especially, so they're trying to find and try the person as quickly as possible so they can get this matter put out. However, we actually did not kill him, and they tried to scuff witnesses to lie about us on the stand. And even though the witnesses lied, we were able to cut through their lies and have them even admit that they were lying. And then the trial still wasn't thrown out because they need blood for the blood gods. However, the English professor had an English student with him, also from Great Britain. And she, even though the cops tried to conceal her identity from the court, was revealed and is now having to defend herself because she is the only way that we can continue to prove that we didn't do it. Otherwise, there is literally no witnesses, and if there is no witness, we literally cannot argue our own innocence. We can only argue against what we're being prosecuted against. We can't bring our own witnesses unless they randomly just show up. So we are now trying to prove that the lady who went, the English lady who was with the professor, is the actual killer and not us. And right now we are trying to prove that the professor did not die from a gunshot, but was instead poisoned. And I actually have a theory about that as well, that I was thinking about last night, and because I remember from a picture. So we'll see what the game shows after that. Anyway, let's see. Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why the sudden aggression in my courtroom?
A judicial assistant, and a woman no less. The rules state that females are not permitted in this court of law other than to testify.
Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense.
You're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded.
5 minutes? I will not allow a moment more.
But, Your Excellency...
I am most grateful. Who exactly are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now. What is it, a report about something written in English? It's Jezalyle Brett's research. Huh? The Englishwoman's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory on the medical faculty and borrowed this paper. Oh, yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Oh. Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of curare and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Curare? What's that? I've never heard of that word before.
Time's up! The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom.
There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've surmised what I could on a note just inside the cover. You think it could be valuable? Please cast your eye over it. This is wonderful, thank you. Jezalyle's report has been entered into the court record. Goodbye then, and good luck. A report detailing the unknown poison that Miss Brett had been researching during her time at Yumi University. A poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Effects: instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even a minute dose. Route of entry: above mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as inflicted by a blue pipe dart. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused by a result of the full body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. You have long enough, Counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. I ask the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but...
The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
Ryunosuke, out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett,
Yes, Your Excellency.
if you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer.
It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I have to politely decline.
Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question, however. Now I must ask you to treat that as an order.
I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense.
My apologies, dear lady. So, counsel. What is new evidence that demands the court's attention?
Yes!
Miss Jezaliel Brett, we understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yumi University, doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence, perhaps, into a deadly poison?
What?
Poison? Oh, where are you going with this, counsel?
What do you mean, where am I going with this? What do you think I'm going with this?
A toxin known as curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
Objection!
What? What complete and utter nonsense? Curare, you say? I've never heard of it.
You wouldn't have done. You wouldn't have.
What do you mean?
I mean that you wouldn't have heard of curare before, for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist. Correct. Which means, no matter what test the police can do for toxins, they never identify curare. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison.
Why?
Order! Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report authorized by the visiting research student from England, curare has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it is reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists.
To lace their arrows?
The report states that it's produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazon jungle, and it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with curare suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Objection!
Trumpery! These aspersions are utterly trumpery! To start with, if the victim has been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed.
That's true. Oh, what do you say to that, Inspector?
Okay, so one of the things I think is funny, that the prosecution can just say whatever the fuck they want to say, and all he has to do is say, well, of course it's true, and suddenly the entire court goes, oh yeah, I guess it's true. Meanwhile, we've got to show evidence, and he's like, nah, it would have done this, and you go, ah, fuck, well, he said it would have happened.
Obviously, they would have noticed a disturbance like that. Huh. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean, the other way around?
The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress. The evidence that curare was used. Explain yourself, counsel. The moment the toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible.
Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move. That's hideous. To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, the final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly curare poison.
And you're suggesting that this bottle, Council, actually contains the terrifying poison?
Okay, so here's my assumption that I said that I was making. If you look in this picture here, the bottle, the food is eaten, but the bottle's cork is not popped. So I'm assuming they're doing the classic trope of the second so-called gunshot wasn't a gunshot. It was the bottle popping. And the thing that's on the guy's chest is either a smudge that was there that they're assuming is the bullet hole, or that's where she stabbed him or whatever with whatever was on the poison. So that's where the shallow wound on his chest happened, and they just assumed he bled out because they never did an actual autopsy when they did this. They literally just looked at it at the scene and then took everything away. An autopsy was done later, which doesn't really understand why they thought he bled out, unless they just didn't know why he died, so they just said it was bleeding out because they, couldn't detect the poison. So unless that's from something else, and then she actually had it in that glass, that's the other possibility. It could literally have been she didn't hide this glass because she wanted to hide her presence. She hid the glass because that's where the poison was, or whatever he was drinking was poisoned from. So that's my assumption.
Actually contains the terrifying poison?
Objection!
This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing? What a happy tale for the defense. Ahem, if I may. All these facts. You think you're so clever, but you must... Shut up. It is you who must be taught. No, of course. Dear lady. So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it?
What?
You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the result as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual. Whatever do you mean? Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime. That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Objection!
Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules. Yeah, but this is Ace Attorney. It's like Magic the Gathering. Everybody's cheating. You just need to cheat better. What's so funny? Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett?
May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please?
Well, yes. I don't see, why not?
I can see a lot of reasons why not. It's evidence. Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys. Sorry. To an English woman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics. It's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers. Wait, what are you doing? No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for the shabby affair. Goodness. Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned. So, no Chiari. The bottle was clean. Is that what you're saying? You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett.
I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time. Furtherance of friendship between our countries.
Yes, dear lady. We are most gratiated with the assistance you have given.
This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how did she swallow a whole glass and live to the tail? I don't understand it. Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London. There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. Come on, Ryunosuke, we have all the clues now. That bottle of water contains no poison. As I thought, there is no poison in that bottle. What? Why, Ryunosuke? Isn't it obvious? If there was poison in there, she'd be dead by now. Sometimes your unadulterated naivete really astounds me. But sometimes it's in need of a good staining. Until as I dock your uniform with the ways of the world. Oh, is that what this color is supposed to represent?
That was a guileless ending to a promising line of inquiry, Counsel, for which you have been penalized.
This whole trial is poisoned. There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have killed over dead. Come on, Ryunosuke, we have all the clues now. Oh, okay. So that was an actual choice I had to make? Okay, I thought it was going to go, the bottle contains no poison, something else does, and we were going to continue from there. But I guess we are going with the bottle of water? Okay. That's weird. The culprit did put Chiari poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. Aye. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious.
Objection!
Fool, are you blind? There was no possible way the bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw Miss Brett drinking the water from it. That's right. Which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained. Now, exactly. I need to think through all the things that I don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the... Oh, okay. Now we're going to present that the bottle was never opened. Okay.
Very well, if defense truly intends to assert its claim. Then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume the supposedly poisoned bottle unscathed? Our favorite picture.
Yes!
It seems the defense, or should I say, the wretched accused, is the only real source of complication in this case.
Wait, what do you mean not to think harder than that, defendant? What? Oh. Sorry, Your Excellency. I'll try to find some better supporting evidence. Okay, it's not that the bottle wasn't opened. Alright, sure. Alright, then it's his wound. No, oh, okay. It's the glass then. Unless we're supposed to be showing the bottle? Okay, see, this is where it's guess what I'm thinking, even though there could be a couple ways of going about it. So I guess the answer is showing the bottle, or do I show the... Enters the body through a wound. So, she drank it, it wasn't through a wound? But it's still entering the body. I mean, I guess... Does it want me to show... Okay, so now we're getting to the part where I don't know if it wants me to show her notes again. Or it wants me to choose the bottle. I mean, I guess it could literally just be water in the bottle, that there was nothing else, and it's supposed to be carbonated, and it wouldn't have lost its carbonate. I don't know. I don't know what they're looking for.
Yes!
The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
Objection!
That's not a valid explanation.
No?
After all, we don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel's trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency.
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone. Honest. I'm just reading Sasato-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered an entry by the court. You will direct us to a pertinent section, Counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle? I assume special characteristics. Because it says, enters through the body through a wound. We've been hearing a lot about this curare poison. And it's left me curious about something. Oh? Counsel? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years, to lace the heads of their arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point, please.
But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because they'd then be eating poison. Good gracious, Counsel! No, that would be madness. But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in the research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? Yeah, I see. That makes sense. Yes. The mention of that particular detail seems a little strange to me, though.
So then wouldn't the answer be the poison... Okay. Wouldn't the answer be the poison wasn't in the bottle then? Why would we change... Why would the correct answer not be saying it's not in the bottle?
That seems like a weird... whatever. Like, that feels like that should have been the... That's why I said it wasn't in the bottle. Because if they're going to reveal now it wasn't in the bottle, it was through the thing that made the wound on his chest, then I'll be kind of annoyed. If it penalized me for me literally being correct. After the game literally said it couldn't have been in the bottle, and I would have said it wasn't in the bottle, but whatever. It might be something else. We'll find out. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When Curare enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever. What? Miss Brett, you authorized this research, and new Curare Oh, are they going to say it? Are they going to say the poison went in through his dental work? Since he had an open wound from having a tooth pulled? You knew Curare's special characteristics, and you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking in the water without any danger to yourself. You meddling little... It's alive! Her hat's alive! Well, Ryunosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? A lawyer?
Objection!
I'm a lawyer.
All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure. But I fail to see how possibly...
So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw. Schoolboyish? Flaw? As even your brain has managed to deduce, Curare is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized. Okay, so they are going to say it 100% is in the bottle. Okay. It is going to be through the extracted tooth. It seems likely that the effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric suckers. Oh, yeah, well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they? So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? Ah,
That's right.
good gracious! That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no? Order! Order in the court! Order! Logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected the same way. Are you trying to suggest?
Yes, this Curare poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial.
That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you would understand something as simple as that. What is this welling up inside me? I just really want to hit a bitch. I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction that breaks down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey.
Objection!
There it is! There we go! Objection! I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett. How dare you use that tone with me? You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Huh? Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence. We now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the Curare?
Take that!
As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? Huh. The toxic effects of Curare are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So, for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water?
Inside?
Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been at the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example.
Nah.
Ah! Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day.
Uh-huh.
So, that's it. You used the knowledge to orchestrate this. Is she laughing?
I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. The childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are all so puerile.
What? What do you mean?
Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. You see, when you leave a vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it.
No.
I mean, it could just slip. Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed.
No! She clearly did it in front of us, everyone. What the fuck? What is it? What just happened? It's the English woman. She just smashed that bottle. And the Supreme Court. What a terrible blunder. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much water from that broken bottle as possible at once.
You're wasting your time. The delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither technology nor the presence of mind to recover it.
How could you? You won't get away with this.
You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle or not.
You.
And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution?
Oh, of course. We're actively destroying all the evidence right in front of us. I see. Yeah, but it's fine though. Yeah, it's fine as long as you destroy it. Oh, if you go back and you take that photograph out of his hand right now and rip it into a million pieces and burn it, then I'll have to go back in time and all the evidence he showed me at the beginning of trial now just doesn't count. Sorry, the defense just doesn't count anymore. It's gone. I can't see it. I don't have object permanence.
Of course. You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady. That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So of course the only person who could have shot him from the front is a little schoolboy.
Objection!
No, you killed the victim that day, using curare, and then, in order to frame Yonosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you had arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the Professor Dead's body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor and his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime.
What a wonderful imagination you have, young man.
Huh?
A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence. Exactly! And you have nothing to support your wild claims. The prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
This is unbelievable. How can this be happening?
We had her, but now Now she's gonna get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene.
Ryunosuke,
Yeah?
we've come this far, but now you are the only one who can finish it.
What? What do you mean?
We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head.
In my head?
You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend on.
Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head.
So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell.
What I saw, what I felt, every color. Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of the same scene in my head. Could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue.
Aha! You always have something up your sleeve, do you, Ryunosuke?
Come on, then.
Let's wipe the slick smile off the Englishwoman's face with some evidence.
Alright.
I can't wait.
It's been nagging me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it could be the key to arriving to the truth about all this. It's here somewhere. The clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is... I mean... It's obviously the red stain. It literally focused it on us and colorized it, so...
Take that!
Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this! Yes, what is it?
Ugh, he's still miles away, probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, do you not?
Absolutely.
I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day.
Attention!
Wait a minute! Where are you going with... Where are you going with this, little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a splattering of blood. What? Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood of the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Nah. Yes. For blood to have made it to the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter, which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor, as you were. Giselle Brett. I beg your pardon.
Attention!
This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense. Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing?
Hold it!
This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to.
Inspector, you mean...
Yes, I took the plate, in the interest of preserving the evidence for the scene of the crime. I took it. Meat and all! And I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it.
You did what?
I took the steak that you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. And I ate it. And I did it all in the name of justice. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a blood stain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it now. Inspector. The court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir. Sorry for the delay. Here is what you ordered. The steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it?
Of course there isn't.
Quickly, Inspector. The blood, man. Show the court. Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. Dun, dun, dun. No. No blood. But you said you took the one the inspector had been eating. Is there blood on the other one? No, no blood. No blood anywhere. But no, that's impossible! I know I saw it. I'm sure of it. Aha, but as you can see, as I pointed out before, that steak isn't eaten, which was something that I thought was going to show up a lot earlier, but never was. In this picture, there is no fucking steak missing and bites taken out of it. In this one, there is! That's something I pointed out super early on and I thought was supposed to be a thing that they were going to point out. But it's being pointed out now. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate. Yeah, she never ate her steak because what's-his-name was already poisoned and killed, so she wasn't eating her steak. The sergeant was eating his steak. What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, that's why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you. What? This, I couldn't agree more in the case of this disgrace to the Empire. I believe we may have reached a conclusion in this trial. Let's hope so. Let's pretend attempt at the courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. But I promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over. Nah, this sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly. If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest. The plate of steak has been entered into the courtroom record. The plate I saw, or thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination? That's the one thing that that the Ace Attorney games do. Like, you think you might almost be near the end, and then they just keep prolonging it and making up new things and bringing in new things, like constantly making it longer. Like they're even introducing this evidence to finally get back to what I saw in the picture that could have been evidence earlier. So that's another thing that I like. Like, there is stuff that's visible that you can tell is wrong and is an inconsistency that's revealed early on, but there's no way of you got to let the story get to it before it actually becomes relevant. Okay. The sergeant really did steal the coin. He needed money for daycare, and he literally did steal the coin and stuck it underneath the steak to hide it. Huh? What the? What? And this will prove that it's the sergeant's steak. Okay. What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin, and the hallmark from the Hoei era, I believe. No. I mean, what is it? I mean, what is it doing here? Wait, did you say it was a Hoei Koban? Yes, and part from the meat juices. It looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This isn't the first time today there's been talk of a Hoei Koban. I heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of bullion before bullion. Oh, sorry, bullion before bullion. And I don't think you ever will again. This extraordinary, though. This means I certainly never expected to find a precious coin in the... Okay, this is the cut of meat. And it's from the Hoei era, too. That would make it really quite valuable. It's well marinated in the juices as well. Look. What? Are you thinking of eating it? Oh, no. But next time I order a steak at an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure. My heart's going to be racing as I lift up the meat and check underneath for a prize. And I think you might have the wrong end of the stick about this, Ryunosuke. A Koban coin underneath the steak? There's only one logical explanation. Was the plate I saw or thought I saw just a figment of my imagination? This is it now. I've lost. Ryunosuke, it's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Huh? Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. Believe in myself? Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. I mean, we literally just did. I'll do it again. Once again, I also don't know if the game actually wants me to keep looking or... Yeah, I've already found the one piece of evidence, so we should be good. This emblem on the side of the plate. Is it a cat? It's a cow, obviously. Most likely because the restaurant's signature dish is beefsteak. It seems a lot of different restaurants have their own unique tableware. So this is a symbol of La Carnival, is it? Alright, we should be good. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection? That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all? Your Excellency, please wait! This plate of beef is hiding another clue! Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beefsteak.
Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. I'm sorry, Miss Brent, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled. Which honestly, at this point, there's an insane amount of reasonable doubt to if I did it or not. Oh, well, he's trying to blame you. For you, we must have, there must be no reasonable doubt. For the guy we're actually accusing for this, there can be all the reasonable doubt, and I don't give a fuck. I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency. As for the defense, you will now clearly show the court what you are alluding. Where precisely on this plate of beefsteak is the new clue to be found? Huh? What in the world is it? Wait, why are we doing this again? It's the Koban coin. Yeah. Alright, I'm just gonna hit the B button to go through this, I guess. Okay. There we go.
Got it!
Good gracious, that's...
Koban? What on earth?
A Hoei error one at that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant from the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat? What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is, but I don't want part of it.
I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat? That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in the moment of distraction.
Objection.
Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen. A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. I was waiting for the coin to come back into it too. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Yes, Counsel? A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath the piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now.
By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway.
Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here. The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under the steak. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to. The owner of the Koban that was found underneath the beefsteak is... The owner of the... Wait.
Are they asking me the owner of the steak or the owner of the coin? I'm assuming they're asking me for the owner of the steak.
Take that.
Yes, just the sort of person to have a precious Koban like that. Oh, okay, that's a no. Oh, okay, it really did want me to get the person. Alright, hold up. Okay, it really was asking about the coin, not the steak. Okay. We have to prove it's the coin first. Yeah.
Take that.
Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer and owner of Rasute, Curio Korikuda-san. Curie, as in my Cumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Yes? The gold man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with this Koban coin when it happened, at exactly the moment the gun was fired.
The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor.
Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for the treasure. Indeed, the Hoei Koban, my prized coin.
And this Hoei Koban, do you mean to tell me?
Objection.
No. Please, why would Korakuda-san's Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? That makes no sense.
Yes.
Which is why I'm asking to bring Korakuda-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay. I can't believe we come back around to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Koban, we'll find out that it's a likely key element in the case. What's this all about? Why I've been caught up again? Don't you realize it's dinner time for little baby Ado? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves.
Exploited by the police we were, like miserable dogs forced to bear false witness.
Yeah, because he loves the perfect evidence, so.
And when cast from the courtroom myself, I became a ruined man in a trice, a worthless, withered antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun has set on this Rasutai shop owner's existence.
Be that as may, Korakuda-san, something has come to the light that requires your clarification. As far as you, Rasutai, memory serves, have you ever seen this car?
Ah! That's Yes, that's it. The one, the very exact one that it is. The resplendent, splendiferous Hoy treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day. It can't be.
As I thought.
Young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped?
Oh, I'm not sure it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwich between a beefsteak and his plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices.
Sandwiched? Soaking? Seriously?
Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident, which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose.
Somebody concealed my Hoy treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate? Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing.
I don't know. I don't know. Who could be in screen with you right now? Excuse me. Could I say something? Yes, of course. Proceed, Inspector Hasanaga. I mentioned this earlier in the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case.
Yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation.
La Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes indeed. We want to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. So that's why you were sent in undercover, is it? Yes, I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the work of the same thief. So unbeknownst to us, there is a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid the Kurakuda-san's Koban is all too clear.
What? What?
I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on the matter. Tell us, who was the despicable scoundrel that stole Kurakuda-san's Koban and hid it underneath the steak?
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant Iesa Nosa. What? How? How dare you? You monster! Monster? I stole that Koban, did I? I'm the master thief of La Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of the crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me! It was Ada! It was Ado! Ado was the mastermind behind this! You would push the blame of your crimes onto your own son? An innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa! You... Ah! Clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop. Nippon Imperial Army, Sergeant Issa Nosa preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir! Even the baby saluting. Do any of you know of the extraordinary low wages of Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep its country safe? I understand of the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remain in place. And I have heard it is far lower ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son.
And that's why you were stealing things at the restaurant?
The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days I go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I enjoy chopping my way through a good steak at the same time.
It sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable. And your target that day was the old man and his koban.
Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all.
A veritable phantom thief you are.
It was all set to leave the steak as I halfway through the devouring it when it happened. Yes, when the professor was shot. I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. I know, too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as a fact as I could. On the double. I slipped it under the steak. Hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again later the date.
This is ridiculous. Perhaps you should carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time? Well, Miss Brett. No, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. My esteemed gentlewoman, please be excused, Your Excellency.
Indeed. The theft of Koban was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder.
Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Nonsense, is it?
Well... Oof.
And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Even she thinks.
Very well. Now all that question concerning this witness's testimony had been answered. I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. And good day. Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming. Oh, no, it's just... something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly, but something else she said jarred with me. I feel like there's a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard. Sorry? You can think later. But if you don't call it out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over.
Hold it!
Wait, Miss Brett.
What is it now? I'm afraid. Just one last time. There's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction?
Objection!
What new student nonsense is this? Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke? Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Yes, I'm right. What you said there exposed an undeniable contradiction.
I'm going to need to see evidence, counsel. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, where is the evidence to prove it?
Alright, so the evidence is... the steak has had bites taken out of it by a person, which she wouldn't have done.
Take that!
The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed? Yes, go on.
More accurately, Your Excellency, the steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. Now you're just splitting hairs. Not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural? Unnatural? What on earth do you mean? It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett.
Noticed what exactly, Counsel?
Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could ever contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a fork and knife. Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself. Then take a good look at the steak. In particular, the edge where it's been eaten. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. Nah.
Oh.
It looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, couldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all.
Attention!
But what is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravishly hungry and couldn't... No, whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course, of course. This will be all over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Just leave me... I've heard enough. You irritating little spectacled samurai relic. Of course. Dear lady! What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She realized the catastrophic implications of these teeth marks in the steak we have for her. Which, honestly, I don't know why we're doing the teeth mark. We should have just been able to do this from the coin. But anyway, Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Yes. Now at last, it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks in a steak had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I know I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all that who shot Dr. Wilson that day.
Now, I accept that the teeth marks in a steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting? Tell us.
Everything, Your Excellency. Everything? Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet. Hasn't been what? Just because it hasn't been shown yet doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Attention!
This is absurd. The trial has run several hours already, and you say there's evidence to be brought forward? This here can't be. I don't believe you have it. I don't, but there is someone who does. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, I will solve every remaining mystery about this case.
Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request to the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will be revealed the truth about this whole affair?
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hasanaga.
What? I have it.
Yes.
You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous.
No. I'm not saying that.
Steak with teeth marks.
Yes.
Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoyed chomping my way through a good steak, as well as admitting to stealing Korakuda-san's coin. He told us that he slipped it under the steak.
You watch it, cadet. I'm a superior officer.
Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? In fact, your own steak.
Attention! Affirmative, of course. I might buy me manhandling her meat to hide something in it.
I know it says meal, but I really want to say meat. In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meat.
Objection!
But that makes no sense. That plate was taken from the victim's table.
Objection!
Yet, the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. It's even just such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire.
Well then, how do you explain this paradox? Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over?
Huh?
You did switch the plates?
Well, after it happened,
When I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my steak and hid the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced that it was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate under my slab of meat, that'd be it. I've been getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I realized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the one on the foreign lady's table.
what? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing.
It was called Operation Lightning Bolt, and there was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what I had to be done. Unbelievable! However, fear not, Prosecutor-san.
What now?
I swear on the brass buttons on my uniform. That's all I did, sir.
All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes!
So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table.
Yes, that follows. Inspector Hasanaga.
Yes. Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both.
That's
correct. Then please present it to the court now.
the plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot. What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat? That can't have the slightest bearing on the case. No, you're not wriggling your way out of this time, lady. I beg your pardon?
Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no?
You're the only ones who decided it was a problem, not me.
The reason the defense asked to see the plate was confirmation, something the defendant remembers seeing.
Thinks he remembers.
I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate, there was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson. There was a clear splattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest.
I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett.
Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show us the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and place it originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident.
Yes, sir. Sorry for keeping you. Here is the other steak and its plate. Please, feel free to examine it. The bloodstain. It's clearly visible. Look!
Yes!
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate. It shows that the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim. It can't be. In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right. Miss Giselle Brett. It's you! Outdone by a Japanese. Me, by a Japanese schoolboy. No, no, no. This is going apeshit. Can't wait to find out that's actually her. Wait, there's chicks in the hat too? Okay. Alright. Alright. This has gone fucking nuts. There's chicks everywhere. I hope they're around in the courtroom forever.
Oh, we have a new mascot now. Ah, I have my own chickens. They've come to roost. Ha ha ha.
Please, excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me.
Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time.
Gladly, Your Excellency.
Time for some more bullshit.
It was I who took the professor's life. Oh, she is actually doing it. Okay. It was I who took the professor's life using curare. As you surmised, I chose the particular day for very one important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because curare is unheard of here in Japan. Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water, and it would all be over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment.
A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man.
I happen to know that the professors always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of curare in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt.
Yeah, under your skirt.
So I was right. There were 2 guns. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Placed where you were sure I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun, as I intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, that's when you shot the professor with your own gun, even though at that point he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared.
Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and they locked him inside.
That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around.
Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he was picking up the gun.
So, there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Your Excellency,
Yes?
I wonder, might I speak with you in private later?
I shall call on you.
Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san.
And then she just fucks off and leaves.
Literally just fucks off and leaves at that point. Hey, yeah, you know, I did the murder. Bye. Whoop.
It would seem. This trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement?
This cannot be. Takasuchi Ouchi does not lose. None the likes of this rookie student.
You'd better start getting used to tough opposition.
Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Yeah?
This insult to the Ouchi family name will never be forgotten.
You've become conceited with age, Counsel. But the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that.
Oh, he takes his top knot. Don't worry me, I'm just brandishing my weapon in the court.
1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Ouchi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. There's trial in the Supreme Court of Japan. Well, I believe will go down in history as the start of a new chapter in this country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it's only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wide world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will bring a new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what will it look like I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Sogi.
Yes?
After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything on the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you.
No, I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Nah, never mind.
As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, well,
Yeah?
in you I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty. This court is now adjourned.
22nd November, 2:46 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendant's Antechamber. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial.
Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations.
Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma.
Oh no, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yumi University Street. Don't forget.
Good afternoon.
All your hard work has certainly paid off.
Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence.
Our trusty judicial
Your Excellency, Sasuto Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense.
Speaking of Mikotoba,
there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job.
Thank you, Professor.
Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, now that you've become an experienced lawyer, I can help you get that damn Spider-Man! I mean, your efforts have exposed a true criminal that took the life of my good friend.
good friend.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yumi University, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably, that's when you met Dr. Wilson?
Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital.
Oh, you were together? I've never heard you mention that before.
Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It has no Spider-Man in it. It leads the world in science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot.
I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is a sword. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything in my way. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing how sharp it is already with my own eyes. That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Jezalai Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder.
Ah, yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but...
What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit after all.
She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai.
What? Shanghai?
Jezalai Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that.
What? Why not?
It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Inspector Hasanaga? It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate...
But wait, what's all this about consular jurisdiction?
We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan.
What? We can't try her? But then, who's gonna bring her to justice?
A British consular court will hear her case, somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard.
But why a consular court?
Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the friendship treaty.
Yes, in normal circumstances you're right.
Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they cannot invoke a consular court just like that.
Oh, can't they? Yes, she's a student, but I don't justify our government's making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on.
So, Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan?
I'm afraid with the young student. Today's trial was nothing more than a game all along, and there was never any danger in comeuppance for her.
I don't believe it. Then what's the point of framing me?
The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking the case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously.
Yeah, no, they're not.
But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil, the new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves, probably in the very last case of this game.
Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it.
Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. Back to Spider-Man, and the evening calls for debauchery drink. For a celebratory drink.
But, Professor... You're right. There's no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start by having some fun.
In that case, might I suggest La Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink.
You're a detective, Osanaga-san. Aren't you?
Ahem. Ahem. Let's not worry about details for now. To La Carnival. You will accompany us, Professor? Of course! La Carnival's food is second to none.
I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Oh, yes, thank you. So, Jezali Brett won't be tried here? I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma. Yes, Ryunosuke? I just wanted to say thanks again. That's all. You really saved my skin today.
No, I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference, though.
Oh, your skills made the difference, though. One day, I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world.
I'm not so sure about that.
Huh?
To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me.
What? Come on, be serious.
If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a very natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean.
Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat? I never want to go through that ever again. I just did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you.
That's the point.
Sorry? What do you mean? That's the point.
Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win?
Knowledge of the law?
No. The ability to believe.
Believe it. To believe? To believe what?
A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times.
Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it?
I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you'll have to make a choice about what you believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you choose to believe.
Okay, alright. So, I have, so either Kazuma is going to end up being charged with something, or Kazuma is going to be the prosecution trying to, and Brett's going to be part of it again. All right, definitely this is coming back. Either we're going to be trying Kazuma, Or he's going to be the prosecution versus us at some point. And Miss Brett's definitely coming back as well. Or she's going to be a fucking lawyer.
But being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe is even then. Well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person.
But, believing in your client?
Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little experience, but you never stop believing in me.
Well,
You face seemingly hopeless situations time and time again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it, through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me.
Thanks, Kazuma.
There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me.
It sounds serious. What is... Ah, you're still here, are you?
Oh, Inspector Hasanaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go.
Thank you. We'll be right there.
Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory.
And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget.
Ah, yes, that too.
My very first trial came to the end. We went to La Carnival, had ourselves some beefsteak, and bang! Oh no, not again!
Kazuma. Professor Mikotoba. Susato-san, who acted as my assistant. Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly,
Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. End of Trial 1. Episode 2, The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band. Alright, so I'll do a little bit to start off this first trial. We'll get the beginning nonsense out of the way. And then hopefully next time I stream this, I'll do it like an extra long stream. And I'll be able to maybe wrap up the entire thing. But possibly doing the first part of this episode is probably the best way of doing this. So there's episode 2, episode 3, episode 4, and that's okay. So it's 4. Oh, there's 5, which is The Hound of the Baskervilles. Okay, that might be an extra one. The Great Departure. Okay, so there's a total of 5 episodes. Okay, we've got the Unbreakable Speckled Band, The Runaway Room, The Clouded Kokoro, and The Hound of the Baskervilles. The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band.
In a corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath. In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with
It's
his cane
Smurlock
pointing at Douglas.
Sholmes.
You see it, Wilson? He yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I
Oh
raised
my god, was Professor Wilson?
and
Oh,
he
okay.
slowly came into view.
He's
Sholmes was
that
staring
Wilson,
intently
alright.
at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The speckled band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which you referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
Oh, well, I'm about to die, and here comes a bunch of people. Let me say it in as flowery a language as I can. Oh, damn snake got me. No, the speckled band.
So then, let us unravel this
What
mystery
the fuck? Is this cyberpunk shit
and
now?
discover what events led to this curious murder.
What the fuck is this?
Pray, do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor,
Leon?
almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle. A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand.
This is literally engineering goggles
In
from
fact,
World of
I think it was
Warcraft.
written by someone of a different nationality. This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident by the victim himself, I would venture.
Okay, seriously, what the fuck is going on?
Well, what have we here?
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
Da! No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait!
That won't be necessary. You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What? Don't be absurd. This is murder. I need cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you? And where have you come from?
I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Herlock Sholmes.
Lock shoal.
I presume you must have heard of me.
And it's us in that. Oh my god, it's us, isn't it? It's us in the fucking cabinet. Oh no, not again. Oh, my head is throbbing. What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in the air. Wait, I can't move. What the? Why am I in handcuffs? Huh. So you're awake now, So you're awake now, huh? We had to drag you out of your wardrobe. I do not believe you could not wake up. You are a true cold-blooded man. You found me then? Da, we found you. And now do pay. Criminal. How long you hiding in that tiny wardrobe, huh? Sorry? Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is, No, I'll tell you everything. There's only one thing I'd like to know from you. Isn't that... Why did you do it? Why did you take his life? Miss Susato? Wait, what did you just say? Take his life? Where is he? Where's Kazuma? Oh, they did fucking, they did Mia his ass. Alright. Ah, you pretend to not know. You are wolf in sheep's belt. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses. What? Kazuma-san was... Kazuma-san's body was discovered not too long ago. Here, in this very cabin.
that was bolted shut from the inside.
His body? Please, do not try to tell us you were doing this terrible thing in your sleep.
Kazuma's dead? But he can't be. And these handcuffs. Surely you don't think I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-san's life? Answer me, please.
No. No!
Kazuma. It was just 2 short weeks ago.
Are you sure about this? Won't we get in trouble? Nah. Don't you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study? It was really something else when they brought you the luggage here earlier, though. The way the Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case onto the floor? I thought it was going to die.
Oh, they snuck me in his luggage? Alright.
Yes, I still can't quite believe that. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. You must be even less of a man than you look.
Oh, fuck, God. God damn. Do you hear that? You hear that sizzle? Fuck, that's a hell of a burn.
Hey! Honestly, I thought you'd broken every bone in my body. Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. But if you confine yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you. Ugh, I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway. They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure. What I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady? From your faithful judicial assistant, Mikotoba, you mean? From your close friend, more to the point. Surely we could confide in her, can't we? I don't believe she'd give me away. No, but if she knew that we'd done, it would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this. Huh, I suppose so. Anyway, it's about the time we set up the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. I know it's cramped, but you better get in there. I think it won't be for long. And anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it will be a breeze. Yes, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it. Stop worrying. I'll tell you what. Why don't you write "keep out" or something on this piece of paper? What? Then I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside. I don't know. We've only been at the sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England, together. We'll leave you at next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer. No, I'm not a murderer. Da, you said before. You said you admit everything about your crimes.
No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on the ship, but murdering my best friend?
No one else could have done it. Admit the truth.
Sasano-san. Please, tell me what happened. I need to know. Very well. But there is something I would like to ask of you, too.
Ugh, those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. This nightmare is getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened.
He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream? And these handcuffs. They think I did it? They think I'm Kazuma's killer? When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside.
What do you mean?
There's no access to the cabin via the porthole window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these 4 walls.
What?
Or to put it another way, the culprit can only have been somebody inside this cabin. Or Do you have some other explanation? Yes, a magnet. I don't know. This is impossible. How did he die then? What happened exactly? Are you still going to deny the charge? Even despite the circumstances? Please, Sasato-san, you have to tell me. The cause of death is still undetermined.
They don't know how he died?
The ship's doctor is examining the body. But of course, he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until the expert has been consulted at our next port of call. So presumably that means there were no obvious external signs of injury then? That's true, yes. Can't anyone tell me what actually happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma? Presumably that's something you know the answer to better than anyone. Please. Whatever you say, you were here in the cabin after all. Well, yes, I was, but... He would always wake before dawn to do his training first thing in the morning. I was waiting outside his cabin, as I have every day so far on this voyage. But this morning, he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't.
What does that mean? He was already dead before Sasato-san arrived at the cabin door? I wonder.
I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open, and when we managed to get inside, there was Kazuma-san collapsed on the floor.
And the white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow.
I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe.
This is all very hard to believe for me too. Trust me.
Now I've told you everything that I know. So it's my turn to ask you a question.
Yes, alright. My head feels so heavy. It's still throbbing like anything.
Why are you even on board the ship, Naruhodo-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time.
I had no idea. But how could you have occupied Kazuma-san's cabin for so long without him noticing? No. That would have been impossible, obvious.
No. That would have been impossible, obviously.
Yes, of course.
Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together.
He actually asked you? But why?
I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself.
I don't understand.
Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go through such an extreme lengths to smuggle me into England with you? It's an idea that's been in my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer for yourself. Well, yes, you did say that, but I didn't think you were serious. You have a talent for it. I assure that you do. I can assure you of that. But I've never really thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development. The center of the world in many ways. There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there? Well, no, definitely not. But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then what? Nothing. Forget it. Huh?
Kazuma-sama he was always saying the same thing, that he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you.
Yes, maybe. But something's still bothering me a little. The look in his eyes, then. It was darker than I've ever seen it before. Sasato-san, I'm sorry that we kept it in secret from you. My stowing away on the ship, I mean. If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect he was trying to protect me, to avoid me from becoming guilty by association. Yep, that's exactly right. Word perfect, in fact. If you're not the culprit, then tell me, what happened last night in here in the cabin? Well, the thing is, I don't really remember. Kazuma brought me something to eat, just like he always did. And then I got myself into that wardrobe over there, just like I always did. After that, I fell asleep? Well, yes. So deeply that you didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed? Well, yeah. I know it sounds unbelievable, really, I do. But it's the truth. If only I'd woken up, then perhaps maybe I wouldn't be in this predicament. And for some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything. Really? Is something wrong? Oh, no, it's... Please, forget it. Sasato-san, you have to believe me. I didn't do it! I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there was no one else who could possibly have done this. Ugh. Kazuma, I don't understand why. Why did this have to happen? I can't take this. Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen. I'm sorry, but Kazuma was killed right under my nose here. And I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around? My hands are tied while whoever did this walks free? No, I cannot allow that to happen. Well, what do you propose to do then? I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. I'm going to work out who took Kazuma's life and why they did it. So I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me. Hiya! What the? That was a Sasato takedown. Sasato what? What martial art is that from? I'm going to need you to prove it. Here, I'm a lawyer! Kazuma would stick this over the doors to keep the wardrobe for me. It says, keep out in Japanese, though I'm not sure the Russian crew can actually read it. This is the paper seal I wrote for the wardrobe. I remember really working hard to make it. But I'll never forget how Kazuma reacted. Do you expect the Russian crew to be able to read that? He said. Still, I was sure people would get the idea, even if they couldn't read it. So we used it anyway. And it worked. I don't know if the crew thought it was creepy or what, but no one opened the doors. You can see the remnants of the glue we used to stick over this wardrobe door. Though it wasn't proper glue, of course, we didn't have any of that with us. So I pulverized some rice into a paste and used it instead. But to a stowaway like me, every single grain of rice represents precious rations. That's why I spread it as thinly as possible as I could. I couldn't bear to wait. Okay, so the ascertaining is I was in the closet with this seal over it. When you came here, the seal was still on the door. So how could I have put the seal back on the door if I was inside the thing? That would have been impossible. Someone would have had to have put it back on top of it. Or I was in there the entire time. Okay. And since it wasn't actual glue, it can't restick. He barely used any, and okay. So that's that. That's that bit right there. I can prove it with this. Certified lawyer, my best friend. He was the only way to London to study for a tour when I was taken from the world. A judicial assistant who was traveling with Kazuma to London for a study tour. She is the epitome of a refined Japanese lady. I'm going to need you to prove it. Sorry, prove it? Yes, your innocence. I need evidence. But how am I supposed to... Have you forgotten already?
what you achieved just a few weeks ago. You successfully defended yourself in a court of law.
Ah, I see. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence. I have to get Sasato-san to believe me. I'll show her some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty.
Yes!
Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors?
Oh, yes it was. I remember clearly.
I thought so. Cosmo always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there, just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, he did the same last night as well.
Ah, yes, of course. The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before we opened them up.
But if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own.
Yes, that's quite true.
In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma.
Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma-san thought so highly of you.
Thank you, Sasato-san.
Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up?
Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up?
Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here at least.
Thank you. So, you finally believe me?
I'm sorry. No.
What?
I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you used some sort of conjuring trick to put that sign back in position.
What does she think I am, a magician?
For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same.
Alright, let's get to work, Sasato-san.
Please, don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts.
Oh.
I shall be watching you to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. I wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example.
Right.
Well, anyway, I should make a start on investigating in here. Examine everything I can.
Kazuma, I swear, I will avenge your death. Alright, before we start doing the investigation, I am going to get a little bit more drink. Okay. Examine, converse, move, present. Examine. These are the rules of passage for the travel aboard the SS Buria. It's essentially a list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Well, Kazuma broke that with the sword right away. What? Why are you staring at me?
Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet?
Alright, that's a good one.
I can't decide.
Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here.
Oh dear, that won't do.
Oh, what's the matter, Sasato-san?
Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused I forget to look around properly. Ah, yeah, that's not good. I don't suppose you're as foolish as me of that regard, are you, Naruhodo-san? Oh, they're showing that I can move the... Yeah. I'm sure you're careful to look around using the left and right buttons. Now, let's investigate all corners of this cabin.
Yes, let's do that.
I suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. I looked at one thing. Those books have fallen over on the shelf. Look, they're all toppled the same way. And what's this? A statue of some god of the sea? Although he's fallen over as well. Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked and everything mown down at once. Somebody's searching for something probably then. I wonder if perhaps it was Kazuma-san doing his morning sword training, do you think?
I seriously doubt it.
Then perhaps it was you, Naruhodo-san, in a fit of rage? I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder? Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see it. No, don't mess with evidence. What are you doing? Why would you do that? When I went for help, the crewman forced the door open. This bolt had been firmly closed. Huh. It's quite a small bolt, and not particularly sturdy, as it slides across to secure the door shut. But still, with the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. When she glares at me like that, I feel all tense up and down my spine. I remember reading once in a detective novel, the culprit used a needle and thread to draw a bolt across from outside the room in a situation like this. Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself, but the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal, and they're sealed together perfectly. There would be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. When she glares at me like that, I feel pins and needles rolling up and down my spine. Perhaps I should see what this Russian crewman makes of the scene of the crime. Excuse me. What? I was wondering how's it going? The investigation, I mean. Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes. But it is not true, I see. Sorry? The criminal asking investigator for information about this crime. Very funny. Oh. It wasn't supposed to be a joke. He doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty. He might have useful information, though. I have to keep trying. So, last night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all? Niet. Of course not. Now back to corner of room and make silent. I say no more to you. Huh. Did I hit a nerve? Just for a minute there. He seemed a little flustered. Segi, the Japanese word for justice. The brushstrokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma. Yes, his calligraphy always was a reflection of his heart. Yet can you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoroughly? Of course I can. I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? Even though you stowed away on the ship? Now you're going to bring that up, are you? I can't win. There's nothing on this table at all. The plate and cutlery all over the floor for some reason. Yes, it's strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still. No, wait a minute. What is it? That's funny. I don't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all. So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama? No. That's my dinner from last night.
a roast chicken. It was really tasty.
Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But did you eat it on the floor here?
I'm not a dog, Sasato-san. I ate at the table, of course. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor.
But Kazuma-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he?
No, that's... What? Alright, you know what? Maybe he deserved the... No, that's not... No, that's right. He didn't touch it. He didn't touch it. Which meant all the more for me.
Oh no, does that mean poor Kazuma-sama spent last night on the earth with an empty belly?
Okay, so someone drugged the chicken thinking he would eat it. I ate it. That's why I'm out in the fucking thing, probably. Okay.
It's just too horrible.
Ugh. Now I suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach.
That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it.
Yes, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul.
I believe he has to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this trip.
I suppose that's just how important it was to him. And now he's gone. But I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. What do you think this is? It looks like a broken piece of glassware. Whatever the thing was, it appears to have broken clean in two.
The glass is such a beautiful color. It looks like a cute little Netsuki fastener from Kimono Outfit.
I'm not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him. Would he?
And the mark beside it, what is it, I wonder? It has a sort of brick-like hue?
Yes, you're right. It's the color of brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see any of the same color anywhere else in the cabin. Did Kazuma write that before he died? It looks like it's written in ink.
He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor.
Then I suppose he wrote this message by digging his finger in the spillage? Poor Kazuma-sama.
Poor Kazuma-sama. No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine.
I suppose he was trying to leave some kind of clue in his final moments, was he? I'm sorry, partner, but I can't read your writing.
I don't think that's Japanese, Naruhodo-sama.
What? Then, what language is it?
It pains me to admit it, but I don't know.
It's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean, I wonder?
That's the very luggage traveling case, isn't it?
Yes. It carries a lot of memories for me.
Memories? What do you mean?
Well, that's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on board inside that case.
Ah, yes. I see it says "this way up" in Japanese.
Which, in hindsight, I should have realized the foreign crewman wouldn't be able to read. I was turned over and over and over, and then I was tossed on the floor in here.
Oh dear. Being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds.
Well, it was less painful than a Sasato takedown.
This is where Kazuma-sama would have sat whenever he was writing. I'll be back in a second.
Gotta hit the bathroom. London Diary. Poor Cosma. He didn't even make it to his destination. It looks as though the last entry is incomplete. Which means... what? He was in the middle of writing it when the incident happened? Let's see what it says. It could have been a valuable clue.
Hiya! That's out of the question.
What?
Cosmo-san may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts.
But what if it's something important? Like something relevant to the case? Alright, I won't read it. We'll bring this up during the middle of the trial and it'll be a surprise thing. It'll be fine.
Poor Kazuma-sama.
I don't like prying into people's personal matters either. But in this case, isn't the need for clues more important?
I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin.
Isn't that a little odd?
What do you mean?
Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it must connect to the next door cabin.
Yes, it would appear to. You're right.
But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it should be connected to the outside.
Huh. That's true. Perhaps it's so that rain and spray don't find their way in when the seas are rough, or something like that?
I suppose. Maybe that's it? He's just here. Alright. Who's that? He wasn't here a minute ago. As far as I can tell, it looks to me like a European. Oh, how did he... You've noticed the man too, have you? I've no idea who he is or how he got in here, but he looks suspicious. And tall. Suspiciously tall.
Huh? Naruhodo-san, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is?
Well, no. I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. He doesn't look like a member of the crew. There's something very unusual about him. And is he investigating Kazuma's desk, or is he just playing on it? I can't tell.
Well, in that case, we simply must talk with him.
Am I just imagining it, or does Susato-san look almost uncontrollably excited?
By the way, I expect that you've noticed already, but just in case. If you press A on people when they're in the crosshairs, you can converse with them.
Alright then, I'll get the suspiciously tall gentleman in my sights and see what he has to say for himself.
Oh, please do. This is the bell cord contraption, I think.
What do you mean, contraption?
I read about it in a book I was studying that talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants.
Really? That sounds almost magical. Shall we give it a little try?
Yes. In the interest of cultural research, obviously. I suppose nobody comes for lowly Japanese people.
No, I'm sure it's just everyone is busy, that's all.
In some 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan, have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruhodo-san?
I think living isn't quite the right description.
Oh, no, I suppose not. Although, I must admit, it has been rather exciting making this voyage in your own secret hideout.
The trouble was, I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So, yes, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. And last night was no exception.
But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin?
No, sadly not. Excuse me. Excuse me, do you have a moment?
Sure. This is a critical point in my investigation. Maybe I should leave him alone? He seems a little... Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly. Yes, perhaps that would be for the best. Greetings! I hope I haven't kept you long. Ah! What exactly were you doing on Kazuma's desk just now? Ah, I see. Fascinating. Fascinating. Sorry. What do you see? It feels like he's looking straight through me. Ah, yes. Everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry? What? And now, whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you now find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Oh, well, that's true at least. But how? How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It was really the most elementary deduction, hardly worth explaining. Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? But of course, a great many of things. There is no mystery, my dear madam. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being as you are a merciless revolution. Okay, so is his gimmick he's incredibly wrong and then incredibly right? Being as you are a merciless revolutionary. Huh? You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. And when the Beribond occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too. Yes. I believe that summarizes... Okay, so he's just completely and utterly wrong in everything he thinks. Okay. Summarize the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. Just to be clear, you're talking about me, right? Certainly I am. Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? I don't even see one person who fits this bill. So it's true. It was you who did this to Kazuma-sama. Kazuma-sama. What? And you're plotting a revolution, too. It's shameful behavior, Naruhodo-san. Absolutely wicked. No. Listen, you gotta... Hiya! Now explain yourself. Tell me everything. This is ridiculous. How could you do it? For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously. Oh, forgive me. And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came to your mind in your the first thing that came into your head. Ah, but was I not right? Whilst venturing forward foreign climes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not? Well, yeah, maybe. Aha! There you have it, you see? What do you make of that, Well, to be honest, the ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at a secure scene of a murder. So, I'm not really sure you could call it deduction. It's more of plain observation. Indeed, an observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I announce my findings with a brassy certitude, and more often than not, I'm right. Ha! I don't think you introduced yourself. Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women of the world over. The inimitable Herlock Sholmes. So, it's really you, the actual Herlock Sholmes? The very same. The inimitable, actual Sherlock Holmes. Goddamn it, Herlock Sholmes. So, you know this man Sasada-san? The most famous detective in the world? Naruhodo-san? Of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. What planet have I been living on then? We must ask him of what he's deduced. He will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. Really? Well, why do I feel uneasy about this? So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what's your name again? Indeed, I am none other than the one and only Herlock Sholmes. I see. You're German? Hairlock, was it? No. I have no hair. I mean, I have hair. Please, call me Sholmes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication. Oh yes. Read Rant's magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interesting articles from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially. Ah, yes. Here it is. The Adventure of Herlock Sholmes. So, you're the protagonist of a series of short stories then? Indeed I am. And you've read so many of your own stories, you've started to think you really are a detective. Make no mistake. I am not the poor, deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backward. Backward? My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them into a magazine. You have a biographer? Do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London. Dr. Wilson? I must say, thanks to that publication, I have been fanatically busy of late. Why, this very moment I am returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. Really? I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Deduction, you see, to me is a science, logical reasoning in its purest form. A science? Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in this subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture. Fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows of the skin, all these things are data. Right. And the trained logician makes deductions from the data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. How can you look me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have a turn both from observation and for deduction of course.
Oh, would you look at that? A midday stream that's interrupted with a call? Damn, that's never happened before. Editor that I don't have, please cut that from the final VOD. As you've seen, I have the truth born from observation, from deduction, and fame. That is what makes me the one and only Herlock Sholmes. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything? My dear fellow. Who would suppose discovered the culprit in this most cunning, hideous place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Ah, I see. Sumari? Yeah, I'm in these now because of him. When I became anxious about Kazuma-san this morning, I summoned all the crew members to force the cabin door open. And I concealed myself among their number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective Herlock Sholmes was on board. And the handcuffs given to an excellent fit, Miss Naruhodo. The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, 2 facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh really? 2 facts to say. Mr. Sholmes, tell us please, what 2 facts were apparent when you came to this cabin this morning? Ah, yes, but first, let me be precise. The 2 facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yes, I understand, but what were they? Allow me to elucidate. The 2 facts that I deduced from mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number 1, the cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. Number 2, the victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. Hold on, Mr. Sholmes. What makes you think the victim was Russian? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. Okay. Now, the question is, they're assuming this is Cyrillic. They're assuming it's Cyrillic. But what could it actually be? There looks like there's something above the A. There's something below the O. And there's something to the right of the thing. So, are any of these possibly... Because here's a thing that's happened a lot when I've done visual novels. That there's always some specialty with the Japanese language that ends up being roped in here with their characters. So, the extra dash under the O, the one on the right side of the B or the 6, and the one above the A. I wonder if that's part of a character that's supposed to be read. Which unfortunately, outside of Japan, a lot of those clues just end up like going way over the head because you have no fucking idea what the hell they mean when they're doing like grammatical questions. But like, could this be anything else? Like the A doesn't look like an A; it looks like a pyramid. Like, or you know, it looks like a triangle over a line, or a what you call it. So like, this could like. The assumption is always it's a word, but it's usually not. Like, I literally made the joke about Leon, which is like from the first Danganronpa game. Where it obviously is Leon backwards, but it looks like numbers. 11037. Like if we try to ring it in English, if it was like what? Rap Apo? But you know, there's definitely somewhere. Anyway, that is a Russian word for wardrobe. Do you really think Kazuma-san would have left a dying message in Russian? In their final moments, many find their native tongue filling their head. This young man, Russian. Kazuma was Russian? Ozzy? Initially, I considered Garderobe may be the name of the killer. A certain Robert Gardet, perhaps. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there at least. Where you found Mr. Naruhodo. Where you found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly. Quite so. I found you. The renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why is it that I'm Russian too? I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. If my memory serves, the outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people. Are school uniforms the traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea. And I had no idea the detective could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim and the message that I might analyze for possible hidden details. This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Yes, Cosmo had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes, thank you. The photograph of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. The Russian word for wardrobe in purple ink. It would appear to have been written in the victim's final moments. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes? What, pray? You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that? Ah, yes. The train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me? Do you think? Russian word, certainly, if it interests you. How many times? I'm not Russian, and I don't speak Russian. Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you concluded about me, I mean? Ah, the now famously accurate, troubling predicament you find yourself in. Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part? Ah, yes, the more sordid details. I was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads: Revolutionary Velin Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday. And Shanghai was where the fucking English lady was going. And last night, the young Russian was murdered. Since when was Cosmo a Russian? It sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded he was Russian because of what Cosmo-sama wrote on the floor. It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who would kill the very man who helped him escape after the true identity was discovered. Yes, you, Villian Bolshevik. No. How could that be me? I don't look anything like him. Just look at his face. Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well. Yep, checks out. Ugh, please. And, I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger lists. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway. What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination by blowing up the Crystal Tower? Ah, yes. The journalist clearly interviewed the man and painted all the particulars in this article. The deeds of the man had perpetrated thus far, and those he is plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake. So, wait, is he Bolshevik the Bolshevik? Do the revolutionaries usually agree to do interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder? And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated here in the article. Bolshevik is currently returned after a period of subversive activities in the war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is it anyway? This Afghanistan place. Here, take this paper for yourself, as a little memento of this great deduction. Oh, thank you. I absorb all that is interested me within the pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby. The article about Revolutionary has been added into the court record. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. On the back. Cast your eye on it if sometime an interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret. I mean, this also could be done by someone who took his hand, dipped it, and then wrote wardrobe in Russian too, as a red herring. I'm afraid I can't read a word of Russian. No, me neither. I have no idea what any of this says. The pair of you floundering is a sorry sight. Allow me to offer some assistance. The article on the front page of the newspaper is concerned with a fearsome Russian revolutionary. It reads, "Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai." Yeah, you told us that before. It reveals also that those who see the man's beard with their own eyes never live to tell the tale. My goodness, he is fearsome. Well, presumably the newspaper photographer was alright, wasn't he? The solution is obvious, of course. If he despises his beard to that degree, he need only shave it off. I'm not quite sure that's the problem, Mr. Sholmes. Huh. This is interesting. Have you found something relevant, Naruhodo-san? Well, no, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting. I can't read a single word, I'm afraid. No, nor can I. But look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think? She is very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you? I don't know. I can't make any sense of it. Ah, I'm glad you've noticed this article. Ah! Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. Pops up everywhere, this Mr. Sholmes. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novik Ballet disappeared from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented, young Nikolina Pavlovna. Why are Russian names so hard to remember? It would appear the woman was in costume when she was found. Let me guess, she was wearing a swan hat. It is apparent the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from a dressing room. Wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, it is worth 20,000 rubles. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles? I have no idea, but I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money. Sasato-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. The tiara is the property of the Novovich Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry. Yeah, I'm not surprised. The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They've requested international assistance at all ports, with sailing to Great Britain. Could this be another case of Russian fleeing his or her country? It does seem to be the Russian thing to do. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruhodo. An article about the ballerina has been entered into the court record. Cast your eye over at something. It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you? Kazuma. Ah, yes, the victim. Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. We see that the victim was engaged in penning some text. London Diary. Cosmo was keeping notes of the trip. Ah, but I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people. Tragic. And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the acting of reading. You mean you've read it already? It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Sasado takedown is. Sasado-san, aren't you going to throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns? I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. What on earth do you mean? Life is so unfair. Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely, this diary belongs to the victim. It would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray be precise to the details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, bonsai, Mikado, nado. I trust you are suitably impressed. Ha. But this diary is loaded with complicated-looking characters, of which I can read precisely none. Ah! So what was all that showing off about before then? If you would be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes. I'm much obliged, my dear madam. The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. A whistling sound? These are very deep waters. Pray, go on. The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? What on earth does that mean? I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before. Alright, well they kind of gave it away at the beginning, unless that was also a red herring. The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring to the lattice on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yes, the adjoining cabin. Kazuma Diary has been entered with the court record. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being, at least. Ah, so you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter of warrants further investigation, I believe, and if I am still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Oh, I suppose. You're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to? Great detectives are curious breed, where minds rebel after stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate. Hence, the truth will become clear soon enough. Do you think perhaps that we could go with you? No, that would be somewhat complicated. What? But why? A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer. Oh, these. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No? There's no point in turning that into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as a culprit at any point. You must be joking. You just said it a moment ago. Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too. You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said that you were the face of a criminal, you know. Not really. So, what? You were looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. Well, anyway, that was then and this is now. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. You are the culprit. Then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Now he's just being plain rude. And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name. Naruhodo-san,
What are you standing there for? Huh? We must go and investigate the cabin next door as well.
Aren't you forgetting something?
What about these? There's no way I can... Hiya! After Kazuma-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You're just going to roll over and accept your fate? As if you gave me any choice in the rolling over part. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on investigating what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door. Good idea.
The situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Kazuma-san to do everything I can to find a way out of this. And bring the real culprit to justice.
Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san?
Oh, no, it's just that crew member standing by the door.
I can't help feeling like I've seen him somewhere before.
I'm not a waiter anymore. I'm now a sailor.
Okay, so he is literally going to be having a different job every fucking time. They're taking the pulls a job out of the fishbowl thing very seriously this time. Oh yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir.
Yes, what can I do for you?
I recognize that face, but it can't be.
Ahem, ahem, ahem.
It is. I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga.
Oh, it's Hosonaga. I'm waiter Hosonaga now. I'm wait Sonaga. Now I'm sail Sonaga. Hello again.
What are you doing here?
I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped.
You nearly stopped, I hope.
I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew aboard the ship.
Again? You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector.
If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask. I never expected to see this man on board,
but perhaps his presence can help me get out of this hopeless situation. Alright. Now that we have this on here as well. Alright. I'm good. I think I'll stop here for today. I did just a little over 3 hours, so it ended up being just about 3 hours. I will pick up again. Honestly, should I pick up tomorrow the normal time again? Not normal time, but should I pick up tomorrow again at like 2? Yeah, I want to keep pressing this. I want to keep pressing to this. I am also very interested, although my voice once again is getting hit pretty hard. So, yeah. We finished off the first case, and now we have started the investigation leading into the second trial. So, I am going to... exit game, save game. We are going to save here at the beginning of the speckled band. Okay. So this is where I will end for today. We finished the first trial and succeeded, set up a couple mysteries, and now we're setting up another mystery. And yep, the characters in this are all fun. This has been enjoyable so far. I can't wait to see what other things are in the game. But and so the dead Watson guy from the first case is going to be his assistant, who somebody murdered while he was in Japan. And now there's also a connection to Shanghai where his murderer went. So, all right. So there's going to be lots of things that are set up. I'm really liking this a lot. I can't wait to play more of this. I'll see you all tomorrow. We'll continue playing this.